Welcome to the Power of Design podcast, where we have inspiring conversations that explore the intersection of architecture, construction, and real estate, so we can understand the dynamics and trends that shape an exciting and powerful built environment. This is your host, Jack Osa. Today, on the Power of Design podcast, I will be talking with Clifford Blanquicet. Clifford is the founder and president of Blanq Real Estate, a fast-growing and energetic commercial real estate firm in Charlotte, North Carolina, and quickly expanding nationwide. Clifford is a hard-working visionary with no limits to his dreams and a relentless work ethic. Starting his career as a professional golfer, Clifford brings his competitive nature to business, making big things possible consistently. I especially admire his focus on the family and a strong partnership with his wife, as they grow a family with 4 small children and also building a unique and powerful real estate company. We talked about motivation, team building, thinking big, taking risk, and much more. This is my conversation with Clifford Blanquicet. Clifford, welcome to the Power of Design podcast, man. How are you today?
Doing great. Thanks for having me.
So, Clifford, I know you have quickly grown and developed a successful commercial real estate company. What's your biggest motivation to keep growing, learning, and exploring new business opportunities?
Yeah, great question. Biggest motivation for me is that I love my family and I'd like to leave a legacy for them. I'd like to be a good example for them. Like to show them that no matter where you come from or how you grew up or what situations are put in front of you in life, that you can be successful. There's no limits in life and that life is short. And so the big motivation is to leave a legacy, be a good example, be someone that my children and my wife, look up to. And I look up to my wife for the same reasons. But just want to be a model citizen for my children so that, when I leave this earth, they can try to make it better. That's a big motivation for me. More on, that's the biggest part. But some of the other factors is that I'm highly competitive. I love being the best at what I put my time in and focus in. And so competition drives me. And so I don't compare myself to people every day, but I'll tell you this, I'd like to be the most successful business person that I can be.
Yeah.
And I believe that I can be one of the best. So competition drives me. And then also helping others, helping others succeed in business and life, personal, professional, build wealth, understand money, understand how to prospect and how to build this business. And so the more people that join Blanq Real Estate, I get that opportunity to be a mentor.
Yeah.
I enjoy adding value to other people's lives. And so I know that's a long answer and a lot of different answers, but frankly, there's a lot of things that motivate me. So I never have a problem getting up in the morning.
That's right.
And being excited about what I'm doing.
Yeah, the motivation is the engine that it's behind everything you're doing. And I think I'm the same way. I always think about my family and my children and just trying to give them a good example and creating a better world for them so they can take it from there and do their own journey. How many children do you have?
My wife and I have 4 children. Their ages are 4, 3, 2, and 1. Our youngest just turned 1 last week. And Callie will be 5. Our oldest, she'll be 5 in December. So, I pretend I work hard, but my wife works way harder.
Yeah. Oh, I know. 4 kids that little, man, that's a lot of work.
Yeah. And so I'm blessed to have her as a teammate in life and a significant other. And, our children, we're very blessed. They're very healthy and strong. But, I work very hard now so that hopefully in the future I can spend more and more and more time with them.
Sure.
And they're wonderful, wonderful children. And my wife's a rock star, so I'm a blessed man.
Nice. Tell me about yourself. Where did you grow up?
I grew up in Sanford, North Carolina, which is about 45 minutes south of Raleigh, 2 hours east of Charlotte. And It's a brick capital of the world. That's really all it had going for it. Maybe 35,000 people when I was growing up, maybe 30. But not a ton of high paying jobs or not a ton of momentum going for that town. But I did live pretty close to Pinehurst, North Carolina, which is the golf capital of the United States, in my opinion. And I started playing golf at the age of 9, and so being that close to Pinehurst was awesome. But grew up in Sanford. My mother raised me until I was 10, and then I moved out on my own accord because of a tough childhood situation, and I wasn't being treated very fairly. So I moved out. I'm on the count 10 to my grandparents. They took me in and they raised me from the time I was 10 until I went to college. And so, to be frank, had a tough childhood in Sanford, North Carolina. Don't really like going back too often just because of not so great memories, but it made me very tough, made me very resilient. Anyone who knows my story and knows what I went through as a child, they know that I take a lot of positives from it. So from Stanford, but I graduated from Wingate University, just outside Charlotte in Union County, and then moved to Valentine, and then moved to Concord and met my wife, and she's from the Concord area, and that's where we still live now, and we absolutely love it.
How did you get into real estate?
Yeah, good question. So I was playing professional golf, playing on the PGA Tour Latino America in 2013. 2013. And I basically lost all my investors' money and sponsors' money. Little return on investment, but not enough for them to renew the next year. And so to make a long story short, the girl I was dating at the time, who's not my wife, her grandmother said, "Hey, tough, I'm not going to invest in you, but I need you to come manage these buildings." And I said, "I'll do anything." So she said manage, but what she meant was glorified janitor and handyman.
Yeah.
And which is fine. I was cleaning toilets. I was sweeping floors, vacuuming. I was a janitor for about 100,000 square feet of office and and retail, which was brutal. And then on top of it, she said, "Oh, you work pretty hard. Maybe you can be the handyman." So I was caulking roofs and I was fixing HVAC units and, getting great experience. She said, "Yeah, you're pretty good at that. You should try leasing some spaces." And so I started leasing spaces and, "Oh, you're pretty good at that. You should manage the buildings and collect the rent and do the expenses." And so I was working like 18 hours a day, 7 days a week and just killing it. And one of our tenants was a commercial broker. And he said, "Man, if you worked this hard doing this, if you got your license, you would kill it." And I said, that sounds good because, I think I'm about ready to break up with the girlfriend and I'm sure she's going to fire me. So I got my license. I got my license. I met my wife, broke up with the girlfriend. The grandma fired me and I got the commission, 100% commission only brokerage in August of 2014. And, it's been an awesome 6 years. But that's how I got into it. And hey, I thank the Lord every day it happened that way. Got great experience. I worked hard.
Yeah.
I met my wife way. I met that broker who told me to get my license. It was a blessing.
That's amazing. That says a lot about tenacity and being able to just take whatever is in front of you and do the best. Regardless of what the opportunity is, because you never know what's gonna come out of that. Having that
That's right.
Having that consistency makes a big difference in people's life, and that's easy to see when you see other people or other professionals. Sometimes people give up really fast, or they underestimate things because they don't look too big at the beginning. But just having the ability to push through things and just do your best regardless of the opportunities is huge. I don't know how much you know about my story, but when I came to United States, I was a busboy. And I used to clean toilets as well and mop floors. And I was already an architect because I graduated from architecture in Colombia, and I came here as an architect, and I was doing those jobs. However, when I was doing that, I committed to be the best busboy in the world, and I was like, I created systems, and I knew how to clean, and I was excited because I wanted to bring, a good level of of performance even to that, and little by little, that's how I started. Tell me about from that point on until today. Tell me the story of how you founded your company and quickly evolved into what it is today.
I had my license with that firm, and the gentleman I was with, my broker in charge, he's very busy. Was already in the industry for 9 or 10 years, had his own book of business, and pretty much said, "Hey, I'm really busy. This is how you do it. Now go get it." And which once again couldn't have been better thing to happen to me. Usually if someone says go get it, then I do. So that was nice that it happened that way. But anyway, for 2 years and 2 months, the first year was tough. The let's see, 8 months of the second year was tough. And so I was a broker only, commission only. My wife and I got married fast, and we just knew we were perfect for each other. We got pregnant on our honeymoon. We had a baby, and then we had a baby on the way. And so my back, was against the wall, and she said, whatever you have to do, just grind and make it happen. And so it took about 20 months, about 20 months to break the seal of where I went from, making just enough checks here and there to get by and borrowing money, and, selling all my watches and selling her purses and just to get, scrape by. It took about 20 months. And that was with no leads and not a lot of mentorship. And finally I caught my stride. And so 4 months later, I went to, 4 months later, 6 months later, I went to, the broker in the firm, and he basically said, "Man, you really don't need me anymore." And I said, "Yeah, no, I'm going to open my own shop." So I became a broker in charge, got his blessing. It was a great breakup. And so anyway, opened Blanq Real Estate November 1st of 2016. And at first I was so small-minded. My wife is such a good entrepreneur and really thinks big. And I was like, yes, I can't wait to open the firm so that I can keep 100% commission.
Yeah.
And she was like, "Well, what's your goals? What's our goals?" So we talked our goals, and she said, "How are we going to reach those goals? Just you doing deals by yourself? Like, that makes no sense." And I said, "Yeah." She said, "I think you need to bring on some brokers, And I said, "Yeah, that's a good idea. I guess I'll do that." And so, to make a long story short, we'll be 4 years old in November. And we've got 20 commercial brokers in the firm that are very impressive people, work very hard. I'm very proud of. We have a triad office as well in High Point. And I'm actually working on opening our Central Florida office right now. So, the growth has been great because, I think that people see some success I've had as a broker and they want to learn from me. And I hope there's, more to it than that. I hope people think I'm a good person. I hope people think that, I care about people. I hope people think I'm a good mentor and trustworthy. And that's, I think, maybe why people come to me. But, one thing I will tell you that's very interesting to me is that I have not recruited one person to join Blanq Real Estate, not one. Everyone who is on the team came to me and said, "I like what you're doing. I want to be a part of it." And the people that we said yes to have good morals, ethics, and work ethic, and that's all we look for. So more so than the growth, I'm more proud of the fact that there are people in this world that came to me and said, "I trust you. I like you. I want to learn from you." And that's very humbling. And hopefully that speaks more to the type of person I am than businessman. And I'm more proud of that than anything else.
That's awesome, man. And even if people don't know you, I think people see that. I think you have a really good brand out there. whether you know it or not. Like when at least in the local marketplace, every time I see the logo, like I know who you are, and I feel proud, because I know, we met maybe 2 years ago, and you have been making such big progress, and I see a lot of movement in the marketplace when your logo and your name is associated with that. So I think that's visible. What you're trying to do, you can tell it that is happening in the marketplace. Well, at least I see it, and that's very exciting.
Thank you.
Tell me about the type of projects you work on. What is the ideal, building size or type? What kind of clients do you work with?
That's what's unique about our firm, in my opinion, is that we are a generalist firm to the core. I mean, our firm touches every type of deal you can imagine. And then, so speaking of me as a broker, I've brokered every asset class. I've brokered every type of deal out there. And so, I love being a generalist firm, because real estate really ebbs and flows. And I love being a generalist because, when industrial's hot, we chase more industrial deals. When multifamily's hot, we chase that. When retail leasing's up, we chase that, and so we really do follow the money in our firm. Now we all have I call them specialties, where we make more deals in this asset class than others. But there's only a couple of us in the firm that really focus on one asset class. And they tend to be, the hot ones, like multifamily and industrial. So, but yeah, we're a generalist firm. What makes us different is we do a lot of volume, deal flow, lots of leases, lots of sales. And so we are not known as a firm yet that does 40, 50, $60 million deals. Even though we almost have a large project under contract right now, but we've typically been known to broker deals that are 15 million and less, investment property, owner occupier properties as well, vacant land for development. And so, yeah, it's just like every progress. We're less than 4 years old. I'm sure JLL and CBRE didn't start out the gate doing $100 million deals.
Sure.
And if they did, then that's impressive. Especially back in like 1902. So, I'm just, we've been working our way up. We've been working our way up the ranks, getting people's trust to know that we know what we're doing and that we are very diligent and very active in the market. And what we noticed is every year we do larger deals and more volume. And for us, we could have started day one chasing home runs and it taken us a few years to make $1. We said, no, let's get deals under our belt. Let's get focused on creating relationships and friendships and trust in the marketplace and brand. And, that business plan is a very long, sustainable business plan, and it's showing in the marketplace because, more and more groups are coming to us for our property management services, our leasing services, and our sales brokerage, and just our advisement overall. So anyway, we're known as a firm that touches a lot of asset classes and does a lot of deals. Myself, I really enjoy working on investment real estate. Really enjoy putting the numbers together, finding investors, putting investors together. I love the way that their minds work. My mind works the same way. My wife and I love buying real estate for investments. And we just like that progression, that thought process. And so, day in and day out, I'm obviously a business owner and focus on the brokers and the property management, growing, the firm. But when I am brokering deals, I'm typically working on an investment deal.
We'll be right back with more from the Power of Design podcast.
The Power of Design podcast is brought to you by OSA Studio, a multidisciplinary design firm focused on creating impactful experiences through the power of design. We partner with our clients to create buildings, interior spaces, brands, and strategies that help you deliver a successful project. As a minority-owned firm, we are committed to building a diverse platform of curious and driven design professionals so we can together pursue our full potential. For more information, please visit us at www.osastudio.com.
What advice will you give to a young broker that, he's working at one of those big firms, but they always have deep down inside a dream to have their own thing, to pursue their dreams, but they're scared. They have excuses. They're postponing that idea. What advice will you give to a person who's in that situation?
Yeah, that's a great question. So I would say that reinvest in yourself, even as a broker for another firm. Reinvest in yourself all the time, with marketing and education and networking and client appreciations and dinners and client gifts. Invest in your brand, even if you're with another firm, you have a brand.
Yeah.
I know it. A lot of our brokers, that's their client. The firm supposedly, has the paperwork with them, but no, I mean, when someone brings in a deal, they cultivate that relationship typically, unless it's a lead from us, but they cultivate that relationship. They were a brand to do that.
Yeah.
They marketed themselves in some way. So I would reinvest in your own marketing, reinvest in education, your own brand. And I don't mean create a logo and slap it over JLL's, logo or Blanq's. I mean, that's not what I'm saying. I'm saying create a brand that, people when I was with my first firm, they were like, man, he's a bulldog. He may not be very experienced, but that guy is not sleeping until he's got the deal done.
Yeah.
And that was my brand. My brand was that and golf. So I turned, professional golf into a brand where people were like, I was thinking, why would people want to remember me? I'm 24 years old. I just got done playing golf. I have a bachelor's degree. I don't even know how I got it. I just play golf all day. What do I have? And I thought, man, people should remember me as the golfer.
Yeah.
And there is not in my mind that people know I'm the golfer, in the brokerage world. And so, my advice is, invest in yourself, CCIM, SIOR classes that CRCBR, put on, and, learn as much as you can, from reinvesting. The other thing, get a mentor early who has done what you want to do. That is the biggest advice. Seek out someone who's done what you've done, so what you want to do. So I sought out Norman Walters, and he was just fantastic as a mentor, a friend. I call him, asking questions. How do you start your own firm? And, how do you do this and that? I mean, I didn't even know what business insurance was, when I started. Business bank account, like, okay, I guess I should separate the two. And he helped me understand why that's important. And then early on, I recommend getting a good team. So a really good accountant, a really good attorney that can work on your items personally, a really good insurance broker, a really good commercial lender. I mean, create a team that when you open your own shop or whatever you do, start your own business, that you don't feel like you're that lone wolf out there. Just know you got a good team around you, and, good referral partners like you in your corner and business owners like you. You started your firm from scratch, and, you've been through what I've been through, or what, some others may want to go through. You're a great friend and a great person to have in the corner, because you've been there, done it. You know what it's like being entrepreneurial. You know what it's like to know what a small business owner is going through. So, you get it. So having someone like you in their corner is great, because you've been there, done it, and now you're proving yourself to be successful on your own without some brand, some big company above your head. And so, the point is that find a mentor. Don't just sit there and bleed them, bleed them dry and ask for advice all the time.
Yeah.
Also, how you can help them.
Sure.
I asked Norman, man, what can I do? Can I paperwork for you? I don't know what I can do, but let me do something because I really appreciate this. And, the being the guy he is, he always said, he didn't need anything. But when I went to lunch with him, I bought him lunch. When I went to dinner with him, bought him dinner.
Yep.
Went and played golf. I showed him I appreciate him. So find a mentor, and in the meantime, do whatever you can to make their life better, and they're going to be a great mentor for you.
Yeah, that's a great advice. And also thinking that you can add value to your mentor as well. For sure, there are some things that you can help him with that, or help her, that you may have some type of expertise or some things that are more available to you that you can also add value to them. So it's a win-win situation for both parties. Tell me about Blanq Real Estate in the next 10 years.
My wife is, a master entrepreneur and a big thinker, and she's teaching me to think bigger as well. And so we talk about this all the time. In fact, I remember when we first opened Blanq Real Estate a few months after, we were at dinner somewhere, and it had like a sheet over the table, and they give you crayons and they write their name on it. So on that sheet, we sat there for hours planning out how many offices we needed to open, maybe where we want to, how many dozens or hundreds of brokers we wanted to have. It's starting to come true. So, in the next 10 years, I would like for Blanq Real Estate to be respected on a national level. And that means you have to open more offices. So right now, I'm flying or driving back and forth from Central Florida to Charlotte, opening a Central Florida office. We have a triad office in Winston-Salem, High Point, Winston-Salem, Greensboro. And now we're working on opening a third office here in Central Florida. I'm networking with people in the industry or brokers who may be looking for an opportunity to run their own office that might not have that opportunity where they're currently at. And so, we're working on opening our third office. We believe that Blanq Real Estate, because of the brand and what we, believe in, has an opportunity to be really well known, really, and grow quickly and be on a national level. And so our goal in the next 10 years is to be national, and I think in the next 20 years to be international. If we accomplish that and we put our systems in place and our beliefs and our mentorship in place, I believe that we can, really create a firm that does it different than the current big boys, and hopefully, be the best that we can be. But that's the goal for Blanq Real Estate. Just keep growing, keep opening offices in areas that we feel are growing and that we can grow with, hire really, really good people. And it's all about the people. So that's our goal the next 10 years for Blanq Real Estate.
Well, I have no doubt that you're going to do that and more. I think, what you have done so far is impressive, but I think what you're going to do is going to be even more impressive. I really admire who you are, and I appreciate everything that you've been doing, locally, and that you're going to be doing national. I think a lot of people need to hear your story because it's very empowering, and I think it's refreshing because you don't have any limits as far as your potential, which is something that everybody has. Every person has that potential. But for one reason or the other, some people think that they don't have it, or they come up with reasons why not to do it. But you for some reason don't have those barriers, and that's pretty cool, man. I really enjoy seeing your success, and I wish you the best. Is there anything else you want to talk about before we close?
Yeah, there is something. You really brought up a good point. That people may be scared of taking that jump or thinking that big. So I can tell you the biggest reason now that we think this big is we are not scared of failure. That is the biggest thing that I think hold people back is the fear of failure. Some people don't start because they're scared of failure. And this may be a crazy way to look at it, but I have so much confidence in my family and I and our ability to adapt and work hard that imagine if the world ended for us and we lost everything we had, and every property we had got foreclosed on, and we went bankrupt. And gosh, I mean, how everything was taken from us. I have complete faith that in less than 2 years, knowing what I know now, we would be right back where we are or even better. And if I looked at my children and said, hey, we got to live in this cardboard box right now, and we're going to draw on the walls, and we're going to have a heck of a time, man, we'd have a heck of a time. So, the truth is, if anyone should be scared of failure, it should be me. 4 children, 4. You know what? I just have this uncanny ability to say that I'm not scared of failure. And if we do fail, we're going to bounce back. But I can tell you this, you will fail every time if you don't try.
Sure.
And so we're going to try.
Yeah. The biggest failure is not to try.
That's right.
Yeah.
So I just want to share that because, like I said, if we're not scared to fail, then no one in this world should be.
Yeah. Well, that was a great way to finish this. Thank you so much, man, for spending this time with me. I'm really happy for you. I wish you the best. I really appreciate everything you're doing, and I look forward to see you when you come back.
Yeah, and I love everything you do too. Keep it up, man. Your social media is fantastic, and the work you do is uncanny. And so I recommend you to anybody, and I appreciate you being on today.
Sounds good, man. Thanks so much.
Thanks.
All right. Thank you for listening to the Power of Design podcast. Remember to rate and review on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, or wherever you listen. Find out more about Jack and Osa Studio at osastudio.com and follow us on Instagram at the Power of Design podcast. Thank you.